work and would be ineffective. It increases the prices and penalizes everyone, not just the obese. It affects the poor the most. There are loopholes and ways to get around it. It can create a black market for unhealthy food. It's not likely to affect people's eating habits. And, it creates a nanny state and limits personal choice and creates a stigma against obese people. It could lead to a loss of jobs. And ultimately could just be another excuse to tax people masquerading as a public health service. For example, Denmark instituted a fat tax in 2011 and repealed it just a year later. One of the reasons was because it increased companies' administrative costs and it caused an estimated 1,300 people to lose their jobs. Like I said, it would impact poor people the most, as they spend much of their income on food, and many fattening foods also happen to be cheap. There are ways to get around it. For example, if a person wanted to, they could buy all the ingredients separately and bake an enormous cake at home. And there's not much that the government can do about that. I mean, are they going to go door to door and spot check people to see what they're making in their own kitchens, or make them declare that they made roast potatoes and beef dripping and retroactively tax them for it? Also, there's not enough info about taxes effects to know if it'll be effective. Even the British Heart Foundation said that present research doesn't provide enough information about the tax's possible effects. According to Jacob Silverman of How Stuff Works, another concern is about which types of foods are taxed and who makes that decision. Food czar or fat tax committee could have tremendous power and affect broad changes in the lives of consumers, farmers, and food distributors. According to them, some healthy foods could be mislabeled as unhealthy and fall subject to the tax. An official from Britain's Food and Drink Federation cited cheese as one example. Although it can be high in fat, moderate quantities of cheese are considered quite healthy, nutritious. Also, sodas and chocolate chip cookies, which are both supposedly unhealthy, aren't harmful if they're consumed in small quantities. Those who enjoy these foods only occasionally would be unfairly penalized. Another example is when the federal government tried to change the way that gluttonous American students ate in public schools by banning fattening foods and serving healthier alternatives. Kids simply stopped eating at lunch, and the costlier, healthier cuisine landed up in the garbage. Also, Mexico instituted a similar fat tax, and it created a black market in that country for unhealthy foods. Out of 2,800 liquor producers in the country, only 800 paid taxes. An example that junk food and sugary drink companies might start to follow. Some companies even tried to smuggle in candy and soft drinks from abroad. And another thing is that taxing products more would bring down profits for companies, and they would have to lower their prices, which would defeat the whole purpose of the tax.